Welcome to The Sip List, the podcast where we drink wine and count down our top 5 favorites of all the things. The Sip List does contain spoilers as well as explicit content, so please keep this in mind as you're listening at work, in your car, with your kids, wherever. The Sip List does not claim ownership of any sound clips used in this episode, as any clips are owned by the original copyright holders. Thank you and enjoy the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Sip List. This is the podcast where we drink stuff and talk about our top 5 favorites of all the things, or count down our top 5 favorites of all the things. And I say drink stuff. Wine is always going to be my second or third love in life, but I am doing dry January except for Saturdays. So I will not be drinking wine today. I'm actually drinking an iced coffee right now, so I'm trying to be good. But I digress. Either way, we have fun and count down our top 5 favorites of all the things. And why are you waving a water bottle at me? An empty water bottle.
I'm just that's my whole point is drink, you sip on the sip list, but yet my water bottle is empty as fuck.
Well, you need some water. The rule is that you sip. It doesn't matter what you sip on.
Well, I kind of sip for an hour plus on an evening at the movies about an hour ago.
Oh.
So
okay, there you go.
2 hours ago. So that's why my water bottle is empty.
Gotcha. Well, that's okay. So yes, we are back. We're now 3 episodes into the new season. I'm getting back in the groove of things and excited to be here. Oh my gosh, I almost called you Chandler. Kasey is also here. Say hello, Kasey.
Hi. I am Kasey, host of An Evening at the Movies, along with the illustrious co-host on that side of the screen. So, oh, Jesus God.
Dre, you're probably not going to be interested, but we are talking, I'll go ahead and say, we are going to honor Matthew Perry. It's been a few months since he passed, and we are going to talk about our favorite Chandler Bing moments. So, I know, some people like Dre aren't a fan of Friends, and that's totally cool, but for people like me and Kasey, it means so much to us. And we've been talking about doing this for a while. And I honestly just haven't been ready. I don't know if I'll get through it without crying. So we'll see.
I knew at some point that it was going to take a while for both of us to get ready.
Yeah. And I was on a break. We were on a break. And Shanna, yes, please drink a Prosecco for me because that sounds delicious. So yeah. Sorry, traffic noise. I cannot wait to move. We are meeting with an architect next week, so we are another step closer to building a house. So I'm excited for that. R.I.P. to Matthew Perry. Hope you have a good show, but I would fall asleep if I listened to this. Love you guys. Fine. I at least stay and listen to the Sip Libs. We'll get to it in just a second. Listen to the Sip Libs, Dre. Okay. So yes, Kasey, my co-host at An Evening at the Movies, my fellow I Did Not Make These Rankings network cohort is
here. There's a whole long list of stuff that we are.
Yeah.
Lobsters, network, co-hosts, brother from another mother, sister from another mister.
Yeah. I feel like we were separated at birth, but who knows?
And didn't meet each other until we were like 40-something years old.
Shanna, I'm listening to you guys and watching Murder in the Dorms. I do not know Murder in the Dorms. I'll have to.
Ooh, cuckoo.
Hey, we like our true crime. Give us a break. All right.
I'm not gonna lie. At the end of the day, that comment made me feel a lot more comfortable about the song that I picked for her last night during the draft episode.
Oh, well, we can't reveal that yet.
Not
but
on the episode, but
yeah,
you and I can
because
discuss
people are
after
still
the episode's
voting.
over.
So vote for me. Oh my gosh, the cars. Sorry. School's got out and everybody's yeah. Okay.
That's
So
cool.
let's go ahead and move on to the sip libs actually. We already kind of talked about what we're sipping on. But we're going to talk probably a lot about Matthew Perry and Chandler. So let's just go ahead and get this done so we can actually get to the meat of the episode because that's what I'm excited about. Okay. So
Are you
this
gonna play the video?
no, I'm not going to play. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Ooh, no, I'm not going to do that because then I will definitely cry. Okay, so this Sip Libs is going to be a story and it's titled Chandler's Wacky Day. So,
Because everything about Chandler is wacky.
mm-hmm. Shanna, what? Episode meat sounds delicious.
What?
uh, did, did we say? Oh, because I said no. It's because I said get to the meat of the episode or whatever. Hey, you have your
Oh,
meats however you like, Shanna. All right, Kasey, give me a noun.
um, labia.
Oh, geez. Okay, adjective,
This is
certifiably
what we do. You should know
acceptable.
this.
Oh, I know. Clothing item. I'm gonna go with bra because Chandler's scared of him. Kasey, a beverage.
A beverage.
Yes.
Prosecco.
Nice. Well played. A famous person. I'm gonna say Matt LeBlanc. Kasey, a name.
Um,
Shanna, can one of the nouns be rape whistle for me? If we get another noun, it's mine. I'll put it in there. And yes, Val is a fan of the
um,
labia, as you know, a lot of people are. I mean, what's not to like?
um,
Sorry, a name.
a name. Chandler Muriel Bing.
I was hoping you would say Janice. Sorry, an animal. I'm going to say dog because Chandler's afraid of dogs. Verb ending in ed.
Fucked.
Yep. Oh, now here we're back to my favorite action verb. um, I'm gonna say. Ooh, I don't know. I can't think of a good one. You took the
Just,
one I wanted. I'm just gonna
just
say
make,
fuck. We'll have fucked and fucked together.
just make sure that the verb that you have has a lot of action applied to it.
Okay, well maybe we can round it out because now it's a
Oh
verb ending
Lord,
in ing.
you read the comment.
I'll read it after we're done.
The
So
wind
everybody
catches
looks
my labia, and it sounds like a round of applause.
at Shanna, you are too much. I love you.
Oh,
Verb ending
what?
in ing.
Yes, Val came in at the right time.
Yes, this is
Verb
one of the
ending
best
in
parts.
verb ending in ing.
Yeah.
Um, fornicating.
Okay. Said that instead of fucking. We would have had fucked, fuck, and fucking all in a row.
Well, technically,
But
fornicating is.
technically, yeah. An adjective, I am going to say sweaty.
Moist,
Kasey,
Bob.
an action verb. I'm going to keep saying it just because it's funny. Action verb.
Action verb. Defenestrate.
Ooh, finagling. That would have been a good one. Okay. I hope I don't come to regret this. Mine's a noun, so I am going to say rape whistle.
Oh
And
Lord.
I hope you say what I think you're going to say for this last one. A Chandler Bing catchphrase.
Well, I will. just to make sure that we get the right one, I will allow you to fill in the blank for me because I know the one that you're thinking of is probably amazing, and I'm drawing a blank right now as to what it is. Although I probably
Oh,
will slap myself in the face when I hear it.
well, I was just going to say, oh my God.
Oh well,
I
yeah,
guess it's really Janice's, but he says it a lot. Or we could
true.
say, uh, could I be more excited? We'll do that. Could I be more excited? All right, here we go. Chandler's Wacky Day. Oh, I don't know why these are numbered. This is weird. Okay, we'll see. Once upon a time, there was a guy named Chandler Bing. One day, he walked into his favorite labia, Central Perk, wearing a certifiably fuckable bra. I'm rename
Wow,
my labia Central Perk. As Chandler started sipping his pear secco, he looked across the room and spotted Matt LeBlanc sitting with Chandler Muriel Bing, his pet dog. He nearly spilled his pear secco in surprise. Gathering his wits with a fucked look, Chandler decided to approach Matt LeBlanc. But just as he was about to speak to him, Chandler Muriel, being the dog, began to fuck. everyone,
uh,
everyone in Central Perk began fornicating. Chandler, feeling sweaty, defenestrate and ends up looking like a rape whistle.
wow.
Despite the chaos, Chandler just smiled and said his famous words, "Could I be more excited?" And that's just a normal day for Chandler being. And Shanna, oh my God, thank you so much. I forgot about this. It's a
It's a
bra.
bra.
It's a bra. If you don't know what we're doing, we are doing
Oh.
Selena's dad from Selena.
No, I literally Amanda and I almost a year ago did a birthday episode for Salinas, and that was literally a moment that we had in the show that she could not stop laughing
It was
the
great.
entire. Anytime I popped off with "It's a bra," see, only it was a lot worse on an evening at the movies.
Yes, Val, that is an extremely large labia, a coffee house. But yes, we are not shaming. Nobody's shaming.
That almost needed a roast beef curtain to go along with it.
Yeah. Well, they're the same thing. So
Well, true, but again, I digress. It still can creep people out and gross people out at the same time.
exactly. Okay. So we are gonna do our top five Chandler Bing moments. Narrowing this down to five was really hard. Um, as I kind of mentioned, this is something. Oh my God, Shanna. Okay. I'm going to say something after this last comment here. Roll them up like mini blinds. Okay, but I am going to get serious for just a second, or semi-serious. Um, one of the things that Kasey and I bonded over, like almost immediately, was our love of Friends. And there's so many Friends fans out there. The show means so much to so many people. It's my favorite show of all time. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen it. Matthew Perry's death hit me really hard, like a gut punch for real. Um, and it's easy for people to be like, oh, you don't even know them. Why are you so upset? But for me,
Do you though?
Ch-
You really do.
yeah, okay. I don't know Matthew Perry, but I know Chandler, and Chandler's my favorite character on the show. He's the kind of guy that I'm usually always drawn to, which is a double-edged sword because he's got commitment issues. But once you get past that, he is just sweet and funny and caring and all of these things. Um, and yeah, just through my early 20s, I was about the same age as them. I was younger than they were, but just I don't know. Friends got me through a lot of hard times, and it's my comfort show. And losing one of them at like age 50, what was he, 52, something, early 50s. That's hard. That sucks, especially when it's so unexpected. And yes, Shannon, you spent every Thursday with them. That's absolutely true for 10 years. Um, and
And
Friends
then
ended the
after
year
that
I had my daughter.
then after that 10 years, though, there's a lot of cases where we spent more than just every Thursday
I mean, my husband and
with
I
all
watch
of them.
Friends every day at lunch because it's on TBS every day, unless we're not here. So,
And it's nothing against any of the 6 of them. And yes, Matthew's death hit really hard like a gut punch, like Amanda said. But I can guarantee you that, no disrespect to Matthew, like I said, but there's 5 more of these that are going to come that
I
are going to
know.
be probably just as hard. So,
They're
um,
yeah, they're all going to be hard, but for me this one I think will be the hardest because Chandler was my favorite.
mhm.
He is just the character I've always been most drawn to, and somebody because he's like so many people I've been with in my real life, including my husband. So, although I would say that
Yes,
Chandler is funnier than George, but that's neither here nor there.
I think Jeej would disagree with you, but
Probably.
from what I know and what I've seen, yes, Chandler is more hilarious than Jeej. No offense, Jeej.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
funny, but not Chandler being funny.
yeah, not many people are Chandler being funny. So,
No.
don't mind us if we get a tad emotional. We will try not to. It's been a few months, so hopefully, we're over the initial shock. But and nobody that knows Matthew Perry may ever see this, but I don't care. This is just our tribute to him, and Chandler will always lobsters. So, all right, Kasey, what is your number 5 Chandler Bing moment?
I'm not gonna lie. Um, you kind of sort of already were forewarned that um, I have 11 things on my list, and truth be
Yeah.
told, I haven't put any of the 5 in order that
Oh,
I'm going to
okay.
use. So I'm I'm probably going to just rip band-aids off as we go. And these moments are so damn great that the ones I have on my list, I'm just going to say are all probably equal, but I will do my best to try and put them in a acceptable order for the show.
Okay.
Um, so let's start off with um, the ending of Chandler Bing.
Okay.
Him being alone in the delivery room with Erica and all that ensued with the creeping her out, scaring her, making her feel uneasy, and then ultimately finding out after baby number 1 is born that there's a second one coming, and the look on his face, and the doctor's like, I assumed you knew. And he's like, does this look like the face of somebody who's in the know?
Yeah. She's like, "You're freaking out. Join me, won't you?"
Well, I mean, if you're not planning on having 2 babies, that can
Right.
be
That'd be a
a
huge shock.
for anyone, but let alone to have the emotional issues that Chandler Bing has. Woo! It's amazing he calmed down as fast as he did.
I loved how like just perfectly awkward this scene was where he's alone with Erica. I thought that
Mhm.
that was a really funny. It was definitely awkward. He's like, "What do you think hurts more, giving birth or getting punched in the balls?" Because
And
there's
then
no
she
way to know, right? Like,
and then she makes the comment later that I think it's about time we kick you in the balls.
yeah. See which hurts
So
worse.
yeah, I mean that's one of the things I love about Chandler Bing moments though is I think there's a lot of moments throughout the entire show that can feel incredibly real, but
Hmm.
the majority of his great moments are the ones that feel the most real to me.
Yeah, I agree. Um, so I didn't have that one, but ironically enough, my number 5 also involves Erica, their birth mom, and it's from. Oh no, wait, that's not number 5. Never mind. We'll get to that. So now you know one that's on my list, but we'll get to it. Um, sorry. Wow, I couldn't remember what number I put it at. My number 5 is kind of a. It's an all-encompassing thing. My number 5 is every time he's 80s flashback Chandler.
It,
Every single time there's a scene where they flash back and he's 80s Chandler, I freaking love it.
I mean, it's so you have like the flock of seagulls Chandler.
Yes.
You have the Don Johnson Chandler. You know, it
He's
they
like,
really captured the essence of the '80s very well with him
they did.
and Ross.
When they come in the next year and they roll up their Miami Vice, he's like, yeah, we were just talking about, I can't believe how stupid we used to look.
And they look probably even more stupid than they did. Well, no, the year
I would
before was
say
the flock of
slightly
seagulls.
better. Yeah. Um, and two, when Rachel and Monica go visit them in college and he tries to kiss Rachel and she's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm in college and I'm in a band. And that episode is really funny because they find out that um Ross kissed Monica and not Rachel. And Ross is like, you're pretty sure you put her on my
You were
bed.
my
He goes, why would I make out with a girl and put her in your bed?
you were my midnight mystery kisser.
You were my first kiss ever? What did I marry into? God, I love Chandler. Um, that's a really great episode. One of my favorites. Because that's the same one
Oh
where Joey's on Pyramid, isn't it? And that's the one with the stripper. Yeah. It's the one with Phoebe's bachelorette party, Joey's on Pyramid, and they're at their college reunion. Paper, snow, a ghost.
yes,
That's one of my favorite episodes because every single storyline is hilarious.
and there's so much.
Yeah,
I
there's a
mean,
lot
it's
going on.
literally this is about the time that NBC started doing like 35-minute long episodes of Friends on Thursday nights.
Yeah.
So there was definitely a full episode for that 35-minute run, but it was so much fun because as soon as the episode started, it picks up and it just
Yeah.
goes and goes and goes and goes and goes for the whole 35 minutes that the episode's on. And then, you know, it comes to a friend's conclusion.
Well, at that point too, they're paying them $1 million each per episode, so they want to make sure they get the most bang for their
Yeah.
buck. So okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of cheated with that one, but we don't get a ton of the Chandler flashbacks. But yeah, 80s Chandler is I love him. Okay, what's your number 4?
Let's go with um, a phone call to the apartment.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure you know where I'm going,
I do.
but it takes Joey getting on the phone to interpret I'm drunk in the MTM vestibule with Jill Gallagher.
That was great.
And the
That's a
fact that
great
literally
episode.
Joe, it was the first time you watch the episode, it can be kind of sort of a little bit difficult to understand what he's saying. But like the fact that Joey literally gets on the phone and he's like, he's on an ATM vestibule in an ATM vestibule with Joe Goodacre, and then he,
And then he talks
you know,
back to him the same way. Yeah, like I
he's like,
never thought of
don't
that.
you think? Yeah, like I never thought of that before. It's
Sorry,
freaking
that is
hilarious.
great. I used to say gum would be perfection. I said that for like 6 months after the first time I saw that episode. Anytime somebody talked about gum would be perfection.
I said that to somebody that had never watched the show before, and they're like, "What in the?" Heck?
You
I'm
don't need
like,
that negativity in your
"Oh,"
life.
I'm like, "Yeah, you obviously don't watch the show, so."
Yeah. I didn't have that one. That's a really good one. I kind of thought you probably would have it, so I skipped over it. But yeah, that episode is very classic. That's very early, like really cartoonish almost Chandler that we get in the first couple of seasons. His physical comedy is just great. So, yeah, good
Mhm.
choice. Okay. My number 4 is and you saw my long list, so you kind of know what I've got going on here, but
I didn't look at it. I didn't
oh,
blow the picture up. I looked at it from a distance, so I didn't read it. So, but I saw how big it was, and
yeah. That's what she said.
My,
Uh,
you have a big list there, co-host.
so this is an episode I actually watched today. And I'm glad I saw it because it reminded me. This is one of those things where you get the really like how much Chandler is a romantic at heart, how much of a sweetheart he is, how much he just really cares about people until the next episode after this. But it is season 4, episode 6, the one with the dirty girl, and it's the birthday present that he gets for Kathy. I thought,
Oh my god.
it's
I
obviously
love that.
problematic that he's in love with Joey's girlfriend. Like, I get it, but their chemistry was really good on screen too. Like, as much as I hate that he kissed her and all, and that she broke his heart, I really liked these episodes with him and
But
Kathy because they had such good chemistry.
it brought a whole lot of intrigue to the show for the few week run that she was a part of the show.
Yeah. Well, because that's the first time we ever really see Chandler. I don't want to say in love because he was in love with Janice, and she goes back to her ex-husband, and that was a little sad. But this is really where like it's a several episode ongoing storyline. Like that one
Mhm.
point he comes over to Monica's and he's just defeated, and he's like, "Can I sleep on your couch?" Because Joey and Kathy are doing it, and you really see how vulnerable he
Pain
is, and
he
him
is.
yeah, he's in pain, and so he buys this really expensive book for Kathy, and it shows that he pays attention. Velveteen Rabbit was her favorite book growing up. Joey didn't even know that. I got you this because I know you like rabbits and I know you like cheese. But anyway, for those that don't know, Chandler buys this really rare book, expensive book for Kathy, like an early edition of Velveteen Rabbit, and then
First edition, yeah.
Joey asks him to go find a present and for him, and Chandler's like, I can't find anything as good as this. And he goes, bottom line is, I want her to have it, even if I'm not the one that gets to give it to her. And that just broke me. I was
Oh my
like,
god.
that's really when I started to fall in love with Chandler. Like, as much as you can fall in love with a fictional character, I'm not insane. I realize he's not real.
Yeah.
But yeah, that just was like, ugh. I mean, you never really saw him like that with Janice. The episode where he gives her the drawer I thought was really cute. Like, I think that was really the first time. But I think Kathy is when we really see him be vulnerable. And so, anyway, sorry, I just talked a lot, but I get all of my
Oh no.
feels with that episode.
I so I think technically we should probably put a pin in this discussion and let me do my number 3 then,
Okay.
so that we can continue the discussion.
Yeah, I'm trying not to say stuff that might be on your list, but it's so easy to
That's
go into those
why I didn't
conversations.
that's why I didn't rank my list, is that way if you popped off with something, then
Yeah.
I could change mine and go with something else. But you cannot do a Chandler Bing moment top 5 list without the ultimate, well, it wasn't the ending of that storyline, but we're approaching the end of the storyline at this point, and it is Chandler being in a box
Oh, yeah.
on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. That's,
Um, the whole moment is insanely weird, yet funny,
yeah.
but yet you still have a very emotional climax to the moment
Hmm.
with Kathy showing up and ultimately saying goodbye because she doesn't want to come between him and Joey.
Bitch, you already did. Might as well go with it. Sorry.
Exactly. But she turns around and walks out of the apartment, and yet Chandler sticks his little finger up through the hole in the box and, you know, finger waves at her
Yeah. It's all
because he
slow
can't.
and sad.
Well, yeah, because he can't. I mean, we kind of sort of skipped over the whole before that where he's making jokes left and right and he's pissing
Yeah.
Joey off by it because Joey was trapped in the entertainment center,
Hmm.
and the whole time he was in the entertainment center, he was thinking about how he disappointed Chandler and blah 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 blah. And yet Chandler is doing supposed to be doing the same thing that Joey was doing while he was trapped in the entertainment center, but yet Chandler's in the box and he's making jokes and making everybody
Hmm.
laugh. And he's like, "That's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be doing some thinking."
Yeah. Especially
And
when Joey says, "When I was trapped in that entertainment unit, you know what I was doing? I was thinking about how I'd let you down." Like that
yeah,
that was really, and so yeah, that's what Chandler should have been thinking about, is how he let Joey down. But I love when they all cheer and he goes, "What happened? You kissed my girlfriend." I love Joey.
yeah.
I,
So
I
I wanted to make sure we got that out there before, because if you're gonna do address the Kathy and him story, you have to do
yeah.
the Chandler in a box, because that's a huge part of that whole him and Kathy moment as
Yeah.
well.
See, for me, that would be that episode for me is a favorite Joey moment. Like Chandler is my favorite character on the show. If you ask me who the best friend on the show is, it's Joey. Hands down, it's Joey. Like he completely forgave Chandler after like
Hmm.
one day. No, that was a different thing. We were debating Barney versus Joey. And
I'm just
honestly,
saying.
I could debate both sides. Joey
I
is
know
hands
you
down
could.
the best friend on that show.
I don't know, with my lack of debating skills, whether or not I could have pulled off equally acceptable argument for Barney, though. So I'm glad I had Joey, and I'm glad I won that debate.
Well, that's why I took Barney, because I knew he was tougher, but I could argue both of them. But yeah, Joey by far. I mean, he forgives Chandler almost. I mean, it was like a day later or like 2 days later.
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
He forgives him. He lets Rachel and Emma live with him when she has a fight with Ross. He The whole wishbone thing where he didn't wish for them to win the lottery. He wished for Chandler to get, like, oh, Joey's just, as much as he's a Lothario, he is probably the best. He's the best. So
The only thing that ever happened for Joey in that whole 10-year run that I really wasn't a whole big fan of was the Joey and Rachel aspect of, because
yeah, but
at the end of the day, yeah, you can get, okay, let's try and go out, blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, as a fan watching the show, you know good and hell well it's not going to, they're
yeah.
not going to end up together.
But that's not a Joey thing. That's a, we didn't like the way the writing was, because Joey as a character handled that very well. He kept it to himself. He said it'll never happen. Like he never even considered it because of Rachel and Ross's history. Ross is the one that had to say, hey, if you really feel this way, you need to see if she feels the same way too. Um, but yeah, we that was the most awkward part of the show ever. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was your number 3, right?
CC, senor.
Okay. All right. Now my number 3 is the one I was talking about earlier. It is season 10, episode 9, the one with the birth mother. And it's the one where they meet Erica for the first time and they figure out that their files have been switched and she thinks they're a doctor and a pastor, and she finds out the truth and gets all mad. And I'm just going to read this because I sort of have it memorized, but this is one of my things he's ever said that made me just like start crying. Like he's trying to convince Erica to give them a chance because, they lied at first, but I mean, yeah, you're going to give your baby to people that just lied to you. But he's like, what does he say? He says, my wife's an incredible woman. She's loving and devoted and caring. And don't tell her I said this, but the woman's always right. I
Eh,
love my wife more than anything in this world, and it kills me that I can't give her a baby. I really want a kid, and when that day finally comes, I'll learn how to be a good dad. But my wife, she's already there. She's a mother without a baby. That fucking broke me. Oh my God. Like, wow. Bravo, Chandler. Bravo.
yeah. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, there's a lot of people in this world that would make incredible parents, but because of certain circumstances, will never get the chance,
Right.
whether it's medical, financial, whatever. So to have him, being the person that he is, realize that and be
Yeah.
so open and vulnerable about his feelings on that. Oh my god.
Yeah. That definitely brought me to tears the first, because For some reason, him saying she's a mother without a baby, that hit me, even though by that time, well, no, that's when I was pregnant. That might be part of it too. That's when I was pregnant with Abby. I was like 7 months pregnant with Abby when the finale aired. Um, I kind of felt that because there are certain people who are just always like, people joke, you're the mom of the friend group. And that is usually me, as much as you might not believe that. But I'm usually always the one trying to take care of people. And so when he said that, I was like,
Mhm.
oh man, like I feel that. I get that. Like it was just so sweet. So we both had an Erica moment. There you go. Although there's another one I want to talk about after we get through our top five. But
Oh no, I'm definitely 100% sure we'll talk about the rest of the stuff I have on my honorable mention list as well.
all right. Well, what is your number two?
My number two is something that I can relate to as a guy because generally us masculine fellows don't enjoy this activity as much as the opposite sex does.
Oh, I think I know where you're going. Wait, maybe not. Go ahead.
Um, Chandler Bing has a boat, and as Chandler Bing learns how to take the proper bath,
Oh, yes. I had Chandler in the bath. And you know what's funny is where he tries to do it himself and it's all messed
it's
up.
there's the water's tepid, the bath salts are effervescing in all the wrong
Yeah.
places.
My husband is the exact same way. I there are three things I have to do for him because he can't do it as well as me. Make him hot chocolate, make a certain recipe that he likes, is fully capable of making, but he says he can't make it as good as me, and baths. When he wants to take a bath, which is pretty rare, I have to make it for him because he's like, I don't do it right.
So would the one dish be summer corn risotto?
No, it's calzones. I do want to try that summer corn risotto again. I gotta get fresher corn, I think, maybe, or I don't know what I did wrong on that, but anyway.
He can't. The calzone is not very okay.
No, he can make it. It's not that he can't. He just says for some reason when I make them, they're better. It's probably the extra, teaspoon of poison I put in there, but whatever.
I was going to be nice and say the extra TLC that you put
Yeah, it's made with
into your
love.
dish.
I promise you, everything I cook is not made with love, depending on my mood. But anyway, Chandler in the bathtub, great, great
Yes.
scene. I love when they all pile in there. You're like, oh, move your
Yeah.
boat.
No. It's like, oh hey, look a boat. Oh.
And I like that she gives him the so that he feels more masculine. She's like,
Yes.
look, it's a guy bath. Look, here's a boat for you. So it's like an aircraft carrier or something.
Uh huh. It was just so funny because I know a lot of guys can relate to the fact that generally guys are not bath takers.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have a moment where you're totally exhausted after a long day of work, and yeah, it is what it is. But generally, most guys aren't gonna, when it comes to the daily hygienic aspect of cleanliness,
That's not what it's
cleanliness.
for. Taking a bath is not, well, taking a bubble bath as an adult woman is not about hygiene. It is about relaxing.
No, yeah, I get that, but generally, that's not how we prefer to relax.
We know how you guys prefer to relax. I love when he's like, so you just sit there stewing in your own filth, and she's like, how dirty do you think I am? Uh,
Well, I mean,
good
that's
choice.
always been my whole thought process as I grew into an adult was why do I want to lay in a big ass freaking tub of dirty water because all it's doing is washing the filth off of me.
No, you got to have the bubbles and the candles and the salts and the relaxing music, and if you're lucky like me, jets. Jets make all the difference. Wink, wink. Just kidding.
Queenie and the Jets.
Good one. Good choice. I'm glad you picked that because I was thinking about that one too.
What
Okay,
is your number two?
my number two is another one with a little speech, but not as long as that. My number two is where he tells Monica that she's high maintenance. Is the one with the joke, the Playboy joke. So
Mhm.
basically, the girls are looking at a Playboy. It's like, oh, if you could pick one of us to date, who would it be? And Phoebe picks Rachel, and Monica, of course, gets pissed off. And Phoebe is like, you're high maintenance. Rachel's just a little more easygoing. So she makes Chandler, come in and tell them Monica is a self sufficient and put together lady, and what may come across as blah, blah, blah. And he's clearly rehearsed it. And then
Mhm.
finally she's like, I am not high maintenance. Chandler. He's like, you're a little high maintenance. But what he says to her again, I think the reason I like this, it's because something that I relate to in my own marriage and my relationship. um he says, you're not easygoing, but you're passionate, and that's good. And when you get upset about little things, I think I'm pretty good about making you feel better. So they can say you're high maintenance, but it's okay because I like maintaining you. That was just the sweetest fucking thing ever, like, for real.
He does have a heart of gold
He really does.
more often than people think he does.
And I am a lot like Monica in many aspects of my life, not in every way, but I am
That's
definitely a little
pot
more on the
calling
high
the kettle
maintenance
black.
side. So, but you're not easygoing, but you're passionate. Like, I actually think
Mm.
I'm fairly easygoing, but sometimes I'm not, but I am extremely passionate, and it's a double-edged sword for sure. So yeah, I love that little speech he gives her. And she's like, I didn't even tell him to say that.
Exactly.
All right. Can't believe we're down to number
So,
one already. All right, what do you got for us?
so I want to preface this by saying that I feel like there is an obvious choice that most people would think about as being a number one choice, but I'm not going down that road.
Let's both say it at the same time because I'm not going down that road either. Three,
Shut up. Okay.
three, two, one. The
Shut
proposal.
up. Shut up. No.
Oh,
Just a second. No, my thought was the whole pivot, pivot,
pet,
pivot.
pet.
Shut up. Shut
Shut,
up. Shut
shut up.
up.
Yeah, that is iconic, Chandler, for sure.
And no, I will also say that the proposal is on my honorable mention list as
Yeah,
well. Again, I could have easily put that in my five, but
me too. It's just super obvious.
I just feel like that's one of those three or four obvious choices.
Right.
So it's like I wanted to have it on the list so we could talk about it, but I digress. My number
Yeah.
one moment is probably the moment I personally fell in love with Chandler, and it is a Chandler and Janice moment,
Oh.
and it is Chandler moves to Yemen.
Yes, that's so great.
Chandler is in this situation probably the most, I don't want to say coward, but
Well,
he knows he wants out of his relationship with Janice, and he can't bring himself to just rip the band-aid off and do it. So he comes up with this elaborate lie that work is transferring him, and
hmm
Janice is all like, "Well, where?" And he's like,
and she's like,
Yemen."
Paris, Paris, London, Madrid. He's like, can you stop talking?
And then there's the whole aspect of he figures this is going to be it, and she'll get the hint. But then she's like, "Oh no, I'm going to spend every minute with you that I can
hmm
and soak up all the Chandler being that I can." So she stays with him through and forcing him to have to pack up all his stuff in boxes. And then you would think even that would be enough. Oh no, that's not a. I'm taking you to the airport as well. So he has
Of
to take
course.
all of his stuff and put it in a cab and take it to the freaking airport. And then he's like, even that's not enough. It goes even further because it's like, okay, now he's got to check all his stuff to get on the plane. He's got to buy the ticket. He's got to, even once he gets the ticket and gets through security and all of that, it's still like, oh no, I'm not leaving you until you get
I want to
on
see you
the
take
plane and
off.
I see you take off and it's like even to and on top of it, there's also the moment where you know before she says goodbye, she's like, "I've got your address," and blah 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 blah, and it's all I don't remember exactly how it's
5
worded.
Yemen Road, Yemen, or something like that.
Yeah, it's like 123 Yemen Road,
Yeah.
Yemen. I mean, it's clearly a
Fake.
completely bullshit answer. Or, so yeah, I laugh at that every time I see it, and I haven't watched
Hmm.
that episode since um, October 27th.
I
Probably in a lot of ways because it's one of those quintessential Chandler moments for me that I don't know how well I could handle watching that again because, like I said, that's the moment I
yeah,
knew that Chandler was incredibly fucking amazing. So,
yeah. So I like well, first of all, you know that he can't, like, even in that episode, Rachel's like, "You have never been able to break up with her." And he's like, "No, it's okay cuz I'm going to do a preemptive breakup." But it reminds you of when he tried to break up with her before and he drank
mhm,
all those espressos and accidentally hit her in the eye. Like, he is very bad at this stuff.
yeah,
Um I like when he gets up to the ticket counter, he's like, what would you give a kid if they wanted like a fake ticket? She's like, are you traveling with a child? And he's like, okay, it looks like I'm giving you my credit card, but it's really my library card. And she's like, sir,
we don't accept.
a ticket
We,
to Yemen is
we,
$1,200 and we don't accept library cards.
yeah, exactly. And this all. I mean, this is not even just a brief little bit. I mean, it just all transpires over the course of the whole episode. It's fucking incredible. It's funny. It's emotional. It's everything that you want from a Friends episode.
Yeah, and then the little old lady, he's like, can I stay with you when we get to Yemen?
Right? And she's
uh,
all like, "Who the hell are you?" And blah 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 blah. But yet, evidently, the return flight is very quick because as soon as the episode ends, he's back next week for the very next episode. So
yeah. And then when she hooked,
$2,400 later,
yeah.
or however
I
much it was.
like when Ross hooks up with Janice and they're like, she's like, I know what you guys are thinking, but Chandler is in Yemen. Like, she still thinks he's there, and that's like years later or whatever. I love it.
Uh huh.
Oh, that is great. Great, great choice.
I think that was like 3 years in the future or
Yeah.
something like that. I
Yeah,
don't
I mean it
remember it.
was
I
it
mean, it's
was a
not
while.
that big of a deal. But yeah, I mean, it was a
Chandler's in
significant
Yemen.
period. Clearly, he could have stayed in Yemen for a little while and worked his way back home. But yeah,
But she thinks they're together still. That's what's hilarious. It's just like, yeah, anyway.
for 10 damn years, I don't think she ever accepted the fact that they were broken up. Even when she cheated on him with the Mattress King.
Yeah. That I will
That
say
was the
that when
beauty of
they
that's the beauty of hers and Chandler's dynamic on the show. Is even when
yeah.
you get to season 10 and they have that moment when they're in the process of buying the house even.
Yeah. I love how she, and when she pops up when they're at the fertility clinic.
Yeah. Or
But
when she shows up at the hospital when Rachel's trying to give birth to Emma and she's in labor
oh yeah.
and Chandler walks in and she the curtain opens and blah and he gets freaked out and he's all like, "You're pregnant?" And she's like, "Yes." "And you're the father."
Yeah. Look at your face. We haven't slept together in years.
Well, yeah,
um
because that's the thing is you would think he would know this, but yet when "you're the father," he still wigs out like there's no
That easy to
tomorrow.
mess with him. I do like the episode where he tells her, "I think you should be with your husband," and she's like, "Yeah, you're right," but she's like, "What you and I have, it's like movie love," and I was like, "Oh," although I don't agree with that. I think she's insane, but it was still a sweet moment.
She is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Okay, well, that was a good one. Um,
What is your number one?
my number one is it's pretty much the whole episode, but the favorite moment is at the end. The one where everyone finds out. I love him and Phoebe, just the way they're going back and forth, fake seducing each other.
They're
And then
flirting.
he's finally like, I can't have sex with you. And why not? Because I'm in love with Monica. And that's the first time you hear him say it. She's already said it to
Yeah.
him, but you haven't heard him say it yet. And so I thought you guys were just
No.
doing it. I didn't know you were in love. That whole episode it's probably in my top 5 it is in my top 5 favorite episodes actually.
Yeah. No, it's an incredible episode.
I'm
And
very
there
glad we're going
again,
to
that's
have all
one of
the
those things.
vets.
That's one of those episodes where a whole lot happens in that episode, but
Yeah.
the main storyline in that episode is the whole witty, flirty banter back and forth between um, Chandler and Phoebe, and Rachel being a key element of all of that as well.
Yeah.
But
I just love how uncomfortable he is in the whole situation, but Monica's like, "Yo, you can't back down. My team always wins." He's like, "At this?" He goes to put his hand like he's going to put it on her boob, and then he moves it down to her waist like real quick. Like
yeah,
he's just so uncomfortable, but he's sticking with the bit.
well, because at the end of the day, Monica should have known there was absolutely no shot in hell he was going to be able to pull that off.
Yeah, he can't take on Phoebe. There's no way.
I don't think he could have taken on Rachel even.
Yeah, but yeah, that them saying "I love you" really for the first time, and just and the way he's like he's so frustrated. He's just like, because I'm in love with Monica. Like this ends now. I'm done. You win. Like I love Monica, and it's just everybody's all uh, one of my all time
Well, no,
favorite
because
moments in
there's
the show.
literally like so much frustration on his face at the time that he just rips off and says it, and then he says it like two or three times, or one or two more times after that, and the look on her face when she comes walking out of, I believe it was the bathroom, like,
Yeah,
and she's got that look of exhaustion on her face. Like, oh my god, finally! And then they have that moment in front of everybody that it's like, okay, now we are free to be the couple that we have been for the last, what, 3 or 4 weeks,
yeah.
ever since they got back from London.
I do have to correct what I just said though, because I forgot that's not the first time he says "I love you," but it's really the first time. It's the first time he says it in front of everybody. But he says it when she's got the turkey on her head. I forgot about that, which is another great moment because he's not even like he's talking so fast that he's just saying what he feels. He's like, "Oh my god, you're so great. I love you." And she's like, "What?" And those were the
Like, what
best.
did you just say? Like, no, 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 I didn't.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
But those are the best Chandler moments when you get real Chandler, like not trying to be tough, not
Mhm.
trying to hide behind his humor, just being like, "Oh my god, you're so great. I love you." Like, "What?" So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
Okay.
mean, those kind of moments like that are very easy to come along when you're in the moment. You're just being open and real and free
Right.
with the person you're with, and then things come out of your mouth that you weren't expecting to say, and you know, bleh,
Word vomit.
I love you.
But
Yeah,
that was the best
that's
kind.
basically
So,
where word vomit came from.
all right. Well, what are your honorable mentions?
So, like we said earlier, I had the proposal on my
Mhm.
list as well. Um, Chandler gets European,
I have that too. Yes.
along the same
Always
lines
a
of the
pleasure.
whole them hiding their relationship. Everybody walks in and Chandler's in the middle of kissing Monica. Well, he's got to
Mhm.
hide it. So He turns around and he kisses Phoebe. He turns around and kisses Rachel. Joey, blah blah blah, and walks out the door.
Yeah.
And Phoebe's all like, "It felt kind of French to me."
He's like, I'm just trying to bring some culture to the group. Well, that's okay. Just don't bring it in my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one
Um,
actually almost made my top five, Casey.
it was very close to mine as well. I've got a moment from the Chandler and Monica wedding episode. Um, Ross sitting down and having the talk with Chandler and telling him
Hmm.
if he ever causes Monica any pain, I will kick your ass. And Chandler looks at him after the whole spiel's over and he's like, "So are you best friend Ross or are you big brother Ross?" And he's like, "Well, friend Ross." He's like, "Well, that's good because I got a story. Monica's brother just threatened to kick my ass." And Ross is all like,
That whole,
because everybody knows
yeah,
Ross is not kicking anybody's ass.
yeah. He's like, so during this talk, are we still friends? And he's like, no. He's like, are you still Ross? And he's
Yeah,
like, are we
that
friends?
was.
That was funny. Are we friends again? Yes. Dude, you will not believe what Monica's older brother just said to me. That is one of his best, like, is his delivery, I think, is just what is so
Mhm.
hilarious. Like, yeah, it's
And
fun.
I think basically the last one that I have, because I'll let you, because I know you had the proposal as well.
Yeah.
But which sister?
Yes. I was drunk
So
and you all look a lot alike.
Chandler's going through emotional relationship turmoil, and um,
Right after
he ends up at a
Janice.
party with Joey's sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he ends up at a party with Joey's sisters, and he kisses Mary Angela. But Joey has what, 8 sisters, whatever the number is.
Seven, I think. But yeah. Maybe it's eight. I don't
Either
remember.
way, he's got a lot of sisters that very creepily they look a lot alike.
And they're all first name Mary. Mary
But
Angela, Mary Therese.
yeah, he ends up kissing. Yeah, Mary. Blah blah blah. It's like, and the whole episode, Chandler's going around trying to find out which sister he kissed, so that it doesn't get back to Joey and screw everything up. And um, yeah, at the end of the day, he does. Joey ends up finding out, and the wrong sister kisses him again, acting like she's Mary Angela, and he's all relieved because he found out finally, and come to find out it wasn't. It was a different sister, and Joey gets called out to the hallway, and she's all like, "He just kissed me because
Joey!
he thought I was Mary Angela," and then ultimately Joey ends up turning around and punching him in the damn nose. So great
Awesome.
episode.
Yes. So I had like the ones I told you that I still had.
Mhm.
Let's see. I had Chandler in the bunny costume. Love that.
Yes.
And she's like, "Well, it was either this bunny or no bunny at all. No bunny at all. It's
No money
always
at
no
all.
bunny at
Always no
all."
money at all.
And then he's arm wrestling Ross. Like, I love him in that episode. And he comes
Mhm.
out, "Monica, I need to talk to you." And Rachel's like, "Oh, you did this to him?" Um, I had when he's locked in Joanna's office. That
The
episode.
handcuffs.
Yeah, the handcuffs. Um, the after the Janice breakup when him and Phoebe are singing "Endless Love" together. That's he's all sad with
Oh yeah.
his headphones and his record, and he's just hugging it and he's singing, and then she comes in and sings with him. I love that. Um, do do do.
And
Oh
even more so in that episode, what makes it even worse is the fact they can't. Neither of the two of them can hit that high note at the end that
yeah,
they need to hit.
or he's trying to hit the high
What?
note and she's hitting the low
Endless
note.
love.
um, and really the whole episode, the one where Chandler can't cry. I love that one when
Yes.
Monica's reading him the letter and she's like, "What is the matter with you?" And then he finally starts crying and he can't stop. And he's talking about Ross and Rachel. I wish those two could just work things out. And then last
They
one,
were on a break.
yes. Last one is him pranking Ross on their college alumni website, where he says Ross had sex
Oh
with
my god, that was
dinosaurs,
so hilarious. And
and then
Ross,
he was killed by a hot air balloon.
yeah, Ross bought the Photoshop software with the gay porn, and Chandler's coming out is about to get really interesting.
Yes. Oh, sorry. I had one more. This one almost made it into my top 5 too. I don't know which episode it is, but it's the one where he finds out that Monica tells the girls that her new boyfriend is the best sex she's ever had. And so he comes in, he's like, "Monica, I have a cooking question. If you're cooking on the stove, does that mean that your new secret boyfriend is better in bed than Richard?" And then he gets up on
Because
the
at the end
table
of the
and
day,
starts dancing.
that's always been his biggest fear is he'll never measure up to Richard.
Right. So
Well, until
yeah,
they get
I
through the
love that.
proposal and Tom Selleck has his final moment on the show.
That jerk. So yeah, I mean, there's obviously a million more we could probably name. Chandler is just still is an incredible character, and I will be watching Friends in syndication forever. Um, but yeah, we miss you, Matthew Perry. And he did other things in his life. He worked really hard to overcome addiction. He gave up his own home and turned it into like a sort of halfway house. Obviously he bought another house, but just he did a lot of
So
things to help
sober living
people.
house, yeah.
Yeah, so I know that he even said, "I don't want the number one thing I'm remembered for to be Friends," but for me that is what it is, just because that's, he means so much to me because of Friends. But
It's a part of his legacy, and whether he
yeah.
says he doesn't want it to be a part of his legacy or not, it's going to be a part of his legacy, right,
Well,
wrong, or indifferent.
he didn't say
And
he doesn't
we
want it
love
to
you
be a
for it,
part of
Matt.
it.
But
Yeah.
no, but that's not what
He
He
just said he
doesn't.
didn't want it to be the
Yeah,
first thing.
you get what I'm saying. Yeah, which unfortunately, as great as that show was, though, it's going to be generally what people are going. They're not going to say the whole 10 yards, or you know,
Hey, the whole 9 yards was great.
for lack of, I mean,
Fools Rush In.
the whole. I love the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Fools rush in again, waiting patiently for that to get requested for an evening at the movies because
I'll request it.
I love
Love that
Matthew Perry.
movie.
I love I love Matthew Perry, and as we all know, Selma Hayek is
Yeah.
probably one of my hall passes.
Yeah.
So she can get it.
Yeah, she definitely can. Um Crap, I was going to say something and I forgot. I haven't even had a gummy. What were we talking about before you said Fools Rush In? Or before I said Fools Rush In? I
The whole
don't
nine
remember
yards.
now. No, before that. Damn it. Okay.
Chandler Bing, it's time to see your thing.
That was a good one. They were very nice boobies. Nice mittens are nice. uh yeah.
Right.
So yeah, will always love Matthew Perry. Rest in peace, good sir. And Friends will just be. Oh,
No,
I
I
know what I
think
was
what it
going to
was,
say.
talk, we were talking about the whole. He doesn't want to be remembered as friend as being
Yeah, I
Chandler
remember
Bing
now.
as the number one thing.
I think one of the amazing things about Friends is that, first of all, that it's still on in syndication. That show ended almost 20 years ago, you guys, and it's still on every day. And new
2004.
audiences are getting
This year is 20
introduced.
years.
Yeah, it'll be 20 years this year. Um, the fact that new audiences are watching it, and even more amazing is that they love it. Like I will tell the story of my neighbor down the street. When her daughter was 16, she started watching Friends on whatever it was. It was on Netflix. It was on Netflix back in the day. So, she's 16 in, like, 2018. And she is talking to me all the time about how much she loves this show. And I just kept thinking, I'm glad, obviously, but I'm like, there's got to be so many jokes that would never land with somebody that age. Like a pager, they probably don't even know what that is. There's like a reference, where he makes a reference to Marcel Marceau. Like nobody, they're not gonna know who that is. They're not gonna know that's a mime. Like some of the jokes are so old that it surprises me that new audiences are still like that. Just shows how good the show
Yeah,
was, that even with that, people are new, it's getting new audiences all the time, and I love that.
yeah,
So
exactly. And I almost feel like come August/September, with it being the 20th anniversary of the finale, like we need to do something on one of our two shows.
yeah, well, it would be May, but yeah.
Okay,
well
May
it,
is fine with me,
well it ended in May, but we can do it
but
later.
we need to do something.
Yeah, I agree. 20 years of
Huh?
Friends is, yeah. I, I'll never be able to forget because I
Hmm.
was pregnant with my daughter when
And
it
even then,
ended.
there's still
Sorry, buddy, you're on a delay.
yeah,
Sorry.
she'll be 20 years old this July.
Yeah, sorry. I think your internet's a little
Fucking
slow, so I wasn't
internet.
trying to interrupt you, but you're like way cutting out. Um So yeah, okay. Well, you want to give a? Are you still there?
Hmm.
Casey's frozen. Let it
Fucking
go,
Wi-Fi.
let it go. All right. Well,
Uh,
Casey is frozen, but we do have some stuff coming up on an evening at the
my,
movies. I know there's a couple of episodes, but we will be starting. Casey will be starting the movies everyone should see once in their life, and I believe that is starting in February. So we've got a couple of movies coming up for that. The first one will be
March.
March. The first one will be North by Northwest. So be on the lookout for that, because that'll be a really good series. And it's not February will be celebrating Black History Month, so we'll be focusing solely on Black cinema, and that will be a lot of fun. The movies everyone should see once in their life is obviously going to be per our discretion and our listeners' discretion. So feel free to agree or disagree, but they're going to be movies that we think are so important that everyone should watch them at least once. So be ready for some tough hard hitters on there too,
Agreed.
I imagine. Okay, I think you're back. So why don't you say goodbye to everybody real quick?
Bye, everybody, really quick.
Okay. Well, shitty internet reception in Aberdeen aside, this was a great episode. So hope everybody enjoyed it, and feel free to share your favorite Chandler moments with me. I always like to hear what everybody else loves, because different things appeal to different people. So I don't know what's coming up on the sip list. I'm flying by the seat of my pants right now, trying to get some episodes banked up, but haven't done it yet. So just actually, we will be doing soon top five
Better sequels.
movies. Yeah, movie sequels that were better than the original, with Harvey and Casey and I believe Dre, and then movies with a city in the title. So stay tuned for those. All right, everybody. Well,
Not
happy.
Sleepless in Seattle.
Sleepless in Seattle is on my list. Come on now.
Yeah, probably top 3.
In fact, I've already made my list. I'm looking at it right now. I will say I have a good variety of movies on my cities list, but yeah, obviously Sleepless in Seattle's in there. Shocker. All right, everybody, have a great Thursday. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. And when life gets tough, just keep sipping. Goodbye.